Over the past few weeks, we have been exploring and giving you the steps to growing and scaling your quilt shop. As you may recall, there are three main phases: align, integrate, and accelerate. And each phase has three steps. The first step in the align phase is to clarify who you serve, which we talked about a few weeks ago. Go watch that video. The second step in the align phase is declaring your big promise, which we talked about last week, so I also encourage you to go watch that video. And today we're going to be tackling the third and final step in the align phase of growing and scaling your business, the queen bee role. My name is Jacob Curtis. I'm a CPA and profit-first professional dedicated to helping small businesses piece together financial freedom. I started Curtis Accounting Solutions to help quilt shops and small businesses with bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes, and provide practical business advice. I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's episode, so please leave a comment and remember to like, share, and subscribe. How many of you have seen the poster in the airport that says, if you see something, say something? I bet that if you've been to a major US airport, you've seen this. Maybe even heard it announced over the intercom. The US Department of Homeland Security has a pretty big promise to prevent terrorist attacks. And they've determined the best way to do this is to identify and disclose suspicious activity. We don't see most of their work, but we do see the posters. These posters are recruiting you and me to help them deliver their big promise. And that call to action has paid off. A study conducted out of San Jose State University found that since the popularization of the phrase back in 1970, detection rates have improved by 14% in economically advanced countries. As the phrase was promoted more often and more publicly, the rates of prevented terrorist attacks increased. Just as Homeland Security depends on us to say something, so you depend on your team to help you deliver your big promise. The final step in aligning everyone is to identify the core function that delivers on your biggest commitment or your big promise. When everyone on your team is aware of it and has a clear path to be of service to it, even if it's as small as calling a phone number to report a specific piece of luggage, your ability to deliver on your big promise improves. This core function is what Mike McAlwitz calls the queen bee role, or QBR. And here's why. Bees are able to scale extremely fast, nearly effortlessly. You probably noticed a bee buzzing around one day and seemingly a few days later you find a giant hive. Now, how do they do it? Well, here's how. Did you know that the production of eggs is the most important function in a beehive? It's true. Bees only live for 4 to 8 weeks, so new bees are needed all the time. That's where the queen bee comes in. She has the critical role of laying eggs. We call it the queen bee role, or QBR for short. If the QBR is running smoothly, the colony will thrive with enough eggs. However, the whole hive is in danger if the QBR is not being fulfilled. Second, it's amazing how every bee knows that egg production is crucial, and they work together to protect and serve this activity. The queen bee is the only one who can produce eggs, so she's treated like royalty. Groomed, fed, sheltered. And you know what's even cooler? She's totally focused on her job. Nothing distracts her from being the best queen she can be. Here's something to keep in mind. Being the queen bee doesn't necessarily make you the most important part of the colony. Actually, the role she serves, that is super vital. You see, the colony needs healthy eggs to be made at a rapid pace and on a continuous basis. The specific queen isn't even that crucial. It's the role that really matters. So if the queen bee happens to pass away or isn't producing eggs as she should, the colony will quickly get to work creating another queen bee so the QBR can keep thriving. Once the bees feel like the QBR is totally taken care of, they excitedly buzz off to focus on their primary job. They could be busy gathering delicious pollen and nectar, nurturing the eggs and the larvae, regulating the hive's temperature, or fiercely protecting their hive. It's amazing to see them in action. Identifying and serving the QBR in your quilt shop will radically improve your business and your quality of life. What activity in your company is equivalent to egg production? What's your QBR? Here's an example to help you identify it. If your package absolutely positively must arrive tomorrow, which delivery company will you use? UPS, FedEx, DHL? You choose FedEx, of course. Why? Because they stake their entire reputation on delivering on time, every time. That's their big promise. But how do they ensure that promise is met? It's all about their QBR. Now, you might think that customer service is the key to their success, but actually it's all about logistics, the management of package movement. When their logistics are running smoothly, their big promise is consistently delivered day in and day out. Imagine if they shifted their focus to customer service and let logistics take a back seat. The headlines might read, FedEx can't find a single package, but they're being really, really nice about it. And it'd be a sad tale about a once successful company going out of business. But if they cranked up their logistics even more and let customer service take a little bit of a hit, the headlines might read, no one answers phones at FedEx, but every package is delivered on time. Sure, they might get some negative press, but ultimately their QBR would remain strong and they'd keep delivering on their big promise. The queen bee role is absolutely crucial to the success of your company. It's the heart and soul of everything you do and the driving force behind your entire team. Without it, your customers might start to lose faith in your shop. But don't worry, with the QBR at the forefront, your vision will become a reality and your reputation will soar. It's important to remember that not all tasks and activities are created equal. Some things you do might contribute very little to your big promise, so focus your efforts on the things that really matter. Doing so will streamline your operations and increase efficiency, allowing you to deliver on your big promise with even greater success. Here's the best part. The queen bee role doesn't have to be handled by just one person. In fact, having multiple people and systems in place to support it will provide added protection and ensure that your company stays on track no matter what happens. Last week, I shared that our big promise, the one thing our clients most value us for, is that we help them piece together financial freedom. And today, I share our queen bee role. The activity that ensures we deliver on our big promise is teaching the Profit First cash management system. The thing our customers most value about us is that we help them piece together financial freedom. This means that we must understand the quilt shop world, the intricacies of inventory, how it flows through their business, and also understand what a block of the month program is. We know what fat quarters are and jelly rolls are. We know the seasonality of the business. We know who the major vendors are and what guilds are. We know all of this, and it helps us to do the bookkeeping and compliance work accurately. Not only that, it helps us to provide practical advice on how to grow their quilt shops and piece together financial freedom. And this is our big promise. Our queen bee role is teaching the Profit First cash management system. To do this effectively, we don't speak Cantonese or talk to our customers like they're little kids. We teach them how to use and adapt the Profit First system for their shop. We answer their questions clearly and talk with them like the grown, mature adults that they are. We take the time to explain the complicated accounting and tax rules so they can make informed decisions. We communicate in many different methods, including emails, chats, and phone calls. But regardless of the method, we make sure that our customers know how to use and adapt the Profit First system for their quilt shop, fulfilling our big promise. Now, I'm not the only one fulfilling the QBR. Whenever a team member writes an email or talks with a customer, they directly serve or support the QBR. As the leader, it takes work to ensure I have trained my team properly and that we have the proper systems and processes in place to fulfill our QBR. The queen bee role is truly the lifeblood of any thriving business. Remembering that the QBR isn't just one person or a machine is important. It's an activity. While you may be fulfilling the QBR right now, it doesn't always have to be you. In fact, it's better to have a team of skilled individuals and systems that can serve the QBR cohesively. For small business owners with 5 or fewer employees, it's likely that you, the owner, are the one primarily serving the QBR, like in my case. If you're a solo entrepreneur, then it's 100% you serving the QBR. Often, the most skilled team members, not the owners, serve the QBR for larger organizations. Remember, the big promise for a beehive is that the colony will thrive, and QBR is key to that success. The queen bee handles this critical task, producing healthy eggs that ensure the colony will grow and thrive. But let's be clear, the queen bee isn't the most important bee in the hive. She's replaceable and can be replaced if she fails to produce healthy eggs. The same is true for your business. The people serving the QBR are critical to its success, but there are more important factors than the individuals themselves because they're replaceable, duplicatable, and interchangeable. The QBR itself is the most important function, and the people serving it are simply doing the most important job. They're not the brains of the organization, but they are vital to its success. In our next video, I'll share with you how to ensure you empower your team and those who serve the QBR so you can continue to win and scale your quilt shop. But for today, do this exercise to help you find your QBR. Once you know your big promise, brainstorm how to make it happen and think about all the tasks that contribute to your company's success. Which one is most crucial to fulfilling your big promise? It might be a challenging choice, as they all seem equally important. Nevertheless, we need to pick just one. Remember, only one activity can truly be the QBR. Let's use the sticky note method and our deductive logic to bind our QBR. All you have to do is jot down each activity on the sticky note. For instance, if your big promise is delivering exceptional customer support, you might list answering phone calls, replying to chat messages, responding to emails, and chatting with customers as essential activities. Stick each one on a sticky note. In this example, we have 4 sticky notes, but you could have more. Now, let's look at your sticky notes. Identify the 2 that are least connected to your big promise and remove them. Don't worry, this is part of the process. Keep repeating this until you're down to your final 2 or 3. Now, with the remaining sticky notes, let's pick the most important one that delivers the most on your big promise. This is your Queen Bee rule. Supporting my big promise of helping quilt shops piece together financial freedom means engaging in activities like speaking, podcast interviews, training, answering questions, teaching Profit First, doing the bookkeeping, and general coaching. But out of all of them, teaching Profit First is the activity that best supports my big promise. So teaching Profit First is my company's QBR. To put it simply, my business's health depends on teaching Profit First to my clients. Yes, the other tasks matter, but teaching Profit First matters the most. I'm dedicated to delivering on my big promise and ensuring my business thrives like a bustling beehive. Are you still trying to perfect your QBR and feeling like it's just out of reach? Are you overthinking it? Don't worry, I've got a simple tip for you. Reach out to your top customers and ask them, which of our products or services has made the biggest impact on you? This will help you figure out what's really important to your customers and what you should be focusing on. So let's get started on making your QBR the best it can be. What is your Queen Bee role? Leave a comment below or email me at jacob@curtisaccountingsolutions.com. I look forward to hearing from you and knowing what your QBR is. Thank you for watching, and remember to follow me at Curtis Accounting Solutions on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.